call the Board of Public Works to order. Gary's on vacation. Gary's off selling butter buds to somebody
Yeah,
or
Mr.
something.
Plusky.
Yeah, we can start without him.
Oh, okay.
I talked to Nick about this already. Okay,
Alright.
item number 7 is a resolution authorizing and directing staff to proceed with the preparation of plans and specs and to accept the bids for painting and sealing of the railroad overpass located between South 104th and South 105th along West Greenfield Avenue.
I think everybody knows the condition of the bridge aesthetically, which is pretty bad. I believe that Scott's here to talk about the agreement that the railroad is demanding that we sign off on to give us permission to paint their bridge. And I think John's here to talk about the funding of it, so.
Yeah.
I'll let Scott go.
Yeah, from a liability standpoint, the contract, as I had mentioned, is totally one-sided. It's a railroad's contract. You sign it, or you don't go on their property. They wouldn't negotiate with it. A number of municipalities throughout the state have signed it. It's the only way to get these things painted. So if you want to do it, you have to sign this agreement. The big problem from my standpoint, and I'm not saying, you know, don't do it, I'll throw a hissy fit, hold my breath if you do it. I just want to warn you of the liability aspects. It's very, very bad for the city. It makes us responsible for anything that occurs there, and we have to waive our statutory caps. So anybody who gets injured on this, the sky is the limit, regardless of how many people. I mean, we typically require our contractors to have 1 million, 2 million with a 5 million rider. Even if you had that, if there's a bad accident there and somebody gets it, that's not going to cover it. So you're taking the risk. Flip side of it is you're taking the same risk that dozens of other municipalities have throughout the state, because if you want to get this done, you have to accept the risk. So,
Is there any possibility we could just add this into the cap, the limits that our contractors, I assume it's contractors, not city staff, right? That's what we're talking about here. We're
Correct.
going to put it out to bid.
Right.
So, and we have our normal liabilities
Right.
requirements. So is there any chance that we could just say double it for this? I mean, obviously, it's going to make it a more expensive, I guess it would make it a more expensive job to bid out. Right?
I mean, you could. It's all a risk analysis.
Yeah.
You already are. Is this a $5 million one? I would assume we're going to require $5 million as an umbrella. So you have that. It's got to be something worse than $5 million that somebody gets injured that you have to pay. If you want to increase it, you're increasing the cost of the contract. You know, thousands of dollars each increment you go up in millions of dollars of coverage. So it's something you have to weigh.
It would probably cost thousands of dollars more. Well, you could get it. Well, excuse me. There are some companies that could do that. The higher you raise the insurance, the less bidders you have.
Right.
If you just eliminated your typical
cut the
pool.
Cut the
Yeah.
typical.
You may get the really big boys,
Yeah.
because they're carrying, I'm not sure how much more than 5 million per occurrence they're
Yeah,
carrying.
it's fairly unusual for anybody to have that. But you're right. Some big companies do have $10 million, you know, but not painting companies that I've ever seen.
And some of them might not even be able to get 10 million.
Right.
And this, remind me, just per occurrence would mean like if the painters dropped a bucket of paint on a car and caused a single accident that, you know, chain reaction of death or paralysis or whatever, that's when we're talking about the millions of dollars. The next day, they drop another bucket, that's a different occurrence, correct?
Right. That gets you to the $2 million aggregate. So during the course of the construction project, if each day or multiple accidents there's typically a $2 million bucket of money to pay all those claims out.
And everything beyond that comes out of us.
No, then we have a $5 million umbrella. So anything on top of that. So basically, what you have is a grand total of up to potentially $7 million.
$7 million.
If it's multiple occurrence, if it's one occurrence, $6 million.
Okay. And you're not advising us against this?
No, I mean, I'm just making you aware of the dangers that you're taking here. They're very remote, but it could happen, and by signing this contract, we lose the typical statutory caps that we have, and we agree to indemnify the railroad regardless of cost.
Mr. Chair.
Do I have a motion? Can we have a motion first?
No, we're still discussing, aren't we?
Well, usually you have a motion and a second and then discussion. Ask city attorney.
It's the chair's call.
Okay.
You're running
Well, then
this meeting.
let's let the discussion run rampant. Alderperson Reinke.
Okay, why isn't the railroad assuming this responsibility? Why are they?
They don't want to.
Because they don't have to.
They don't have to, so they
Right,
can just
all the
leave it
federal
as
laws
a-
guarantee, that's why you see lousy railroad properties from New York to California.
Mhm.
And everywhere in between, they don't have to keep their property up, and they're not subject to municipal regulations, so they don't have to. So if
Okay.
you want to, then you pay for it.
All right, and if we take over this project, who paints it then? Our employees, or do we
No, we're
hire a
hiring a
company to
contractor.
do it?
Yeah.
We hire a contractor to do it.
Right.
And when do they generally do it? I mean,
So, as soon as we can get them out there.
oh, so
probably be the
during
fall.
the day?
Yeah, it'd be during the,
I mean,
yeah.
during the night, during
Yeah.
the day? I mean,
No, during the day.
It's regular
Maybe
business
they,
hours.
oh, regular.
There'll be minor lane closures at times, I imagine, or something, right?
There could be.
I see.
I don't suspect a lot. I mean,
They'll divert traffic around it.
Yeah. Alder
Well, that-
Person Road?
I guess,
And what's the cost?
We
What's the
don't know
cost
yet.
of it?
We don't know yet.
Oh, I
Somewhere
see.
around $100,000.
100,000. Okay, thank you.
The biggest issue on this, I think, is the image of the city, particularly with the freeway reconstruction coming through, all that traffic being diverted onto National Avenue. This is we've got a great chance for image enhancement. That's what we're here for. It's all about image.
speaking of image, Mr.
Alder
Chairman.
Person Road.
Okay. Alderman Rankin asked one of my questions, but now, I'm just being kind of facetious, but we can pick the color, but we could also put like a West Dallas emblem or something. I've seen it in some cities where you.
We can do whatever you want. Right now, we're just
No, I'm
talking about one color.
suggesting that I don't wanna, I just,
Right now, we're just going very basic.
okay.
Doesn't mean we couldn't if you want.
If I remember right from the contract, the railroad's got certain rights and we have to tell them what we're thinking about and what, so.
Right, they
so we
ultimately
sit
have
there,
ultimate approval on that kind of
So
stuff.
you can't put, we hate the railroad.
No. No, I tried that, you know, you know I called you. No, but I mean, just like a West Dallas or symbol or something like that. I mean, I just was questioning it.
And
We would like to do that, but it just,
Well, then
Yeah.
just
how much more cost would
do it. They're not gonna take it off. They're not gonna erase it on us. Just-
Alder Person Chaplesky.
What are we, nuts? Why do we wanna do this? We're taking on all this liability, just to make it look good? We're spending all this money, where are we coming up with 100,000?
block grant.
Block grant, man, we
Already
got nothing
budgeted.
else to do that with.
Well,
What's that
true.
block grant money?
However, that
Well,
is,
it's just, I like Mike's idea of just putting up a sign. I'm sorry it looks so bad. You know, here's the railroad's, address and phone number and, you know, let them know. Because it's just, we get so much other, we can do that. How much better is it gonna make it look for the amount of liability we're gonna get? And
Well,
it's
the
probably lead
liability-
paint on there now, so we,
it certainly is
We're
a
gonna
huge
sample that set off?
liability. The likelihood of it, as Scott said, is fairly remote that we'd be exposed to that extreme Riparian that we couldn't cover it through insurance. However, it's still out there. That's what we have to be aware of. But then again, it is a huge opportunity to enhance our cleanup, our image.
But
you don't mind being a dirty
what's
Dallas.
next? The railroad, the tracks going over Greenfield and National that are wearing out, need to be fixed now. Are they gonna stop, not fix that and just say, well, City West Dallas will take care of it, we just hold off long enough?
Painting, they don't have to maintain it. They have to maintain the safety of the bridge. That's the federal
Okay.
law. They don't have to maintain what it looks like.
I just think we're nuts if we do this.
Any further discussion? Do I have a motion?
I move to approve.
And I will second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries.
Write down, I told you so.
What color is it? Write it down.
Item number 8. Item number 8 is a resolution authorizing and directing the Director of Public Works / City Engineer to enter into a state municipal agreement for highway improvement project with the Wisconsin DOT for the design, construction, and other related work on the reconstruction of West National Avenue from South 70th Street to South 76th Street.
Like a lot of these projects, is a state and federal money. Total cost of this project is estimated about 3.3 million. Federal funds is 2.2. Our money is 1.1.
Budget?
It will be budgeted.
Yeah, remember, it's gonna be a long design. We're gonna have more than enough time as usual to budget for these projects.
Do we have a time frame in this, Mike? Is this like 6, 7 years?
I hope not,
Out.
but it's impossible to guess. By the time we get done with, hiring Indiana Jones out there to check any.
But is
for
this
stuff in
after
that-
the zoo interchange is done?
I'd have to look. I'm not sure if it's after or before, but again, we have to pass all the federal rules and regulations and reports.
Like
And-
60th Street.
Same thing as 60th. Remember our intersection out there at Oklahoma and National? I mean, we built it in 1 year. It took us 7 years to design it and get all the approvals. So I can't.
Move
I
for
can't tell
approval.
you.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution carries. Item number 9 is a resolution authorizing and directing the Director
I'll
of
move for
Public
approval
Works.
on that also.
Is there a second? Alderman Root. This is on National Avenue from 92nd to Lincoln. This is the same kind of project,
Yes.
right? Same time frame we're talking about? Same kind of headaches.
Bunch of headaches.
Okay. Is there any further discussion?
Budgeting take place, you have to prepare the
Be
budget
budget, yeah.
for these two projects.
Yes. And we'll have it budgeted for as when the time comes.
Okay.
It won't be done next year.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Item number 10, another resolution acknowledging the Common Council's support of the efficient financial management and operation of the city's sanitary sewer utility and authorizing the Assistant City Engineer to submit the CMAR report to the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources.
Move to approve.
And is there a second?
Second.
Annual report required by the DNR. It basically lists number of how much sewer work we do, backups, some of the other things. Our maintenance program, cleaning program, we got an A. We're doing good, at least in the DNR's eyes, which is fine.
Is
Which
this-
is all you have to, no reason we do it.
And anything C and below, and then we'd have to have a plan of attack, how we're going to correct any of the
That's good.
deficiencies that we'd have. But
We
we've
get
been at A now for
A's on most everything?
Yeah.
Everything?
the whole report. It's
We're
graded.
4.0?
I don't know if it's 4.0, but it's an A.
Okay.
Is this a requirement every year?
Yes.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Item number 11, resolution to approve the West Dallas Water Utilities July 2014 Purchased Water Adjustment Clause and Simplified Rate Adjustment.
Yeah, this is related to the Milwaukee's rate increase of 3%. I believe that was June 1st. A couple meetings ago, you authorized us to go to PSC to ask for our 3%. They said yes.
This is our pass-through
It's our
from
This is 2013.
That I just want to note that it's a typo on there. It's
Yeah.
2014.
Yeah.
The bottom of the
It's
resolution.
edited here correctly.
Okay. Move to approve.
Second.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Item number 12, another resolution. This is accepting the work of CW Preparo, Inc. for the installation of a concrete slab gutter.
Move for
Blah,
approval.
blah, blah.
Second.
This is street and utility work.
Yes, so
in
did close out
Ohio.
a project.
Yeah.
Ohio.
You,
Closing
you
out a
could, if you
project.
wanted to, as a block vote, 12, 13, and 14. They're all the same thing, closing out and authorizing final.
Alderperson Chapletsky,
Yes.
do you want to move on 13 and 14 also?
Yes.
And Alderperson Rote, you want a second?
I will second that. Alderman Weigel?
Okay. And so, any further discussion on 12, 13, and 14? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Carries. Item number 15 is a resolution to approve the bid of State Contractors, Inc. for concrete pavement, patching, sidewalk pavement markings, manhole adjustments, and utility adjustments in Lincoln Avenue from 84th to 85th Street and 67th to 68th Street and Beecher Street from
Move for
72.
approval.
Second. Is this budgeted?
Yes.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carries. Item number 16.
Move for approval.
Resolution to approve the bid of MJ Construction for asphalt resurfacing of the pavement, including the milling of the pavement with miscellaneous driveway and sidewalk repair, sanitary.
Second.
Alderperson Reinke on the second. In the amount of $1,029,145.50. Is there any further discussion? Any questions? All budgeted? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Item number 17. Resolution granting a storm sewer and sanitary sewer easement by Ziegler-Wisconsin number 16 LLC, Wisconsin LLC Company, known to be as the grantor, to the city of West Dallas, the grantee, for the property described on engineering drawing Y 1186 dated February 20 of this year, which is attached hereto as Exhibit B and made a part hereof.
Okay, at the last meeting, you awarded the contract for this work. This is for flood control abatement in back of the Aurora Clinic.
Behind the old Benno's on National
Behind
Avenue.
the old Benno's that we're talking about. We're installing, I forget what size pipe, a very large pipe through a
Yeah, it says
70-foot easement.
DLP, it says right there.
Extremely large pipe.
Yeah, extremely large pipe, yeah.
Sorry, I'll be quiet.
That there, but it is, I think you'll be able to walk through it at least, it's how big it is. But it's for flood control in that area. When we do have heavy rains, that whole neighborhood has some terrific flooding. I mean, it's not going to eliminate the flooding by any means, but it's certainly going to reduce the flooding. It's part of it will use up the last of a federal grant that John got a number of years ago, so the $800,000 contract that was left, about $255,000 of that is through the federal grant for flood abatement, flood control.
And our portion comes out of the stormwater utility fund?
Yes, it does, stormwater.
So it's not directly taxpayer money, it comes out of
It's directly taxpayer.
yeah, taxpayers.
It's a fee, not a s- Move for approval.
Second.
Any further questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. And finally, number 18. Did everybody see the PowerPoint? Everybody watch the PowerPoint? Okay, communication from the Director of Public Works, that's Lady Engineer, on the proposed use of brine for snow and ice removal.
Yeah.
Control.
Our intent was to introduce you to what we're looking at in the way of brine, which is basically water and salt mixed together. And there are other additives that you can utilize to even get the melting point even lower than what brine would do. Every community that we have toured so far, and I believe the PowerPoint had a listing of communities out there, raved about it. We're not certainly obviously not the first community getting involved with it, but we're not necessarily the last one there too. So we are kind of
The city at the
utilizing and
center.
piggy banking.
The city at the center.
Yeah. Piggy banking some of the trials and errors some of these other communities have done. Our preliminary estimate to get up and going, and all I'm asking for tonight is kind of a nodding of the heads, yes, is a good idea, investigate it some more. Or if you don't want to do it at all, just tell me, and we'll stop wasting any more time on it if you don't want us to do it.
Mr. Chairman?
But,
Alderperson Kowalski.
I think we should obviously look in every measure we can. My concern just was all the equipment. Do we have to buy all
We're
the
gonna buy those
equipment?
tanks and that mixing thing and all that.
So what do we come out to, what's a total on all of it?
total, our preliminary work was about $270,000
Yeah, it's
for all the
$250,000 or
tanks
something.
and that in there, yes. As a total package, because we're not only looking at brine, again, we are looking at some other additives. There's geomelt and other
So
Radish
stuff.
juice,
So-
I've heard radish juice.
So,
The
so what you're
cheese
telling me,
is a
brine,
mix in there
radish
that,
juice.
again, that you do want.
so what you're telling me, we could use that 100,000 block grant money for something a lot more useful?
Can we use block grant money for that?
Um,
I don't think we can.
Rather than painting a bridge.
And
So-
like, we're not gonna have a space, I mean, you're gonna have to squeeze these tanks and this equipment in somewhere over on,
Part of that money is to build a building.
build a building on
Because
property we own already.
Yes, down at the yard, but we don't have any room, we literally don't have any room to try to shove this in anyways down here. So we are looking at a building. We're looking at a very similar operation that Racine has got, and they had even though Racine has got the same budget, for probably even worse budgeting problems than what we had, they certainly did when I was working there. They just bit the bullet and went into it, and they're very pleased that they are. Our salt expenditures every year is at over $300,000. So I mean, if we can save a third of that, a quarter or a third.
Do we buy the same, do we use the same salt mixed with water, or is it a special salt?
We will be mixing it ourselves, so it's just our regular salt.
Salt with water.
That's done in there and
Okay.
mixed with water.
I would say go ahead and just keep looking, keep us advised of price, see if there's any used ones.
I'll take that as a motion, Alderperson Schlesky.
Well, communication is a place on file.
Yeah,
Who's ahead?
I'll make the motion to place the communication on file.
okay.
Second. Discussion, basically, I appreciated the PowerPoint, that really clarified a lot of the aspect of the operation. How are we gonna bring the water in? That's a large amount of water that we'll be utilizing.
Yeah, they'll be part of the building work in there.
Part of the building
Yeah,
inside.
part of the building work and, you know, the piping will be installed underground for water and that, but those will be all in the details of the building. In fact, Racine was good enough to even give us their plans, even though they were consulted out. We just can't utilize them because they were consulted. Well, that's against them.
Yeah.
But it's a good way for me to lose my license.
Yeah.
Doing that. But they're at least so we have some idea what their dimensions are and what they built, because we saw it. But of course, it helps they have the plans there too in front of you at the same time.
So,
Do we have any idea of the cost of the entire
The
operation?
entire operation, we're looking at about $270,000.
$270,000?
and we can hold you that to being a pretty solid number, since we're learning from other people's mistakes and all that other stuff?
Well,
We're not the first people doing
I'm
this?
hoping that number is high, because I mean, and now it's
Yeah.
our chance to sit there and whittle it down. Again, if there is any used equipment or anything out there that we can utilize, or, you know, do things ourselves, we're building the building and that type of stuff, we're gonna utilize that. My intent there with that 270 is to give you the maximum
Right.
hit,
Right.
and then whittle it down from
Well, you
there.
told us a lot of the positives as far as the cost incurred. However, are there any negative aspects of the project from any of the other communities that you solicited?
Well, the negatives is just the initial startup when
Right.
getting your operators and your drivers used to using this. Also, mixing of this between the salt and water is very, very critical. Now, Franklin did it in the way of a hydrometer, little ball and that they went in there and did it that way. I'm really hesitant on that, because it's cheap, but boy, you better be right on, because the ideal percentage is something like 23%, but if you get even a couple percentages either way, you're almost putting water on the pavement.
Adding ice.
Making ice instead of that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm very hesitant. I don't want somebody out there, I wouldn't even want me, I mean, I haven't had chemistry in 35 years, go out there with a super hydrometer. This has gotta be on computer regulated, just as Milwaukee County's got it, Racine County's got it, so even though computers aren't foolproof, at least we gotta get that percentage right on. It's very, very critical.
All right, so your staff will have to have training,
Yes.
anybody that works in that
Oh, yeah.
position.
They'll have to have training with the use of the computer operations and the equipment there, and certainly laying it down and when we should be laying it down, and literally when we shouldn't be laying it down.
And you said that we have the trucks are already equipped to deliver this.
We've got,
Is that correct? Did I understand that correctly?
What we have right now, all our fleet of patrol trucks right now are all equipped with saddle tanks. So currently, we could take that brine or brine combination right now and do what we call a mix, which we've been doing with calcium right now for all of these years. Okay, so right now, right out of the chute, if we had a brine production system, we would be able to apply it. What we're looking for is down the road is equipment to go out what we call anti-ice the roads where we would apply this ahead of time. Give us another option in fighting snow and ice.
So that's
control.
not in the 270, that's gonna be as we're upgrading the specific trucks as they come along?
No, we actually figured that in.
That's in the 270,
Right.
okay, that's all in, okay.
But we're totally not going with that operation, are we? Because you mentioned that we still will be using
Doesn't work all the
salt.
time.
We'll still be using salt, but it will
Yes.
be also, but this gives us another very effective, good tool for snow and ice operations.
Yes. Okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Gonna entertain a motion to adjourn?
Second.
We are adjourned.
Only to be
Okay,
Thank you.
let's call the License and Health Committee to
Thank you.
order.
how to operate the chair.
Says do not remove.
Under penalty of law. We're gonna rat you out to the mattress tag police. Where's the mattress
Ready to
tag?
order?
Well, it's up for you.
Thanks, Rosie.
We lost our,
Our signs.
Well, once again, call the meeting to order. First thing we have on our agenda is number 68. This is a Class B tavern license for La Paz, Chef Paz, 9039 West National Avenue.
move approval.
Second.
Mr. Chair,
Right, Mayor Devine.
just to let you know, I received a message at 6:57 that, or no, it's earlier than that, 6:44 that she had a party of 30 walk into her restaurant. She had intended on being here tonight, but she couldn't make it, so
It's hard,
she's probably still.
hard to turn that away.
Good problem to have.
And
Party of 30 is
as a note to all the potential customers in the world, if you're gonna go somewhere with 30 people, call ahead.
At least more than a half hour.
Alderman Rowe. It's not a problem.
Yeah, I know, I see that, I see that. Alderman Rowe.
And you all know how I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna vote no, strictly on the quota. I know it's a wonderful restaurant, but it could go pool hall, dart league,
Hey, we
all
just
that
shut
stuff.
down a bowling alley.
We did.
The bowling alley, how about just turn their license in?
Then they should be,
Okay, so,
getting,
But the people at the bowling alley didn't even think about it. They just
No, it's
surrendered it.
well, neither was, Steakhouse here, but there's assets available that can be purchased. I just don't think we should be picking and choosing winners and losers of what kind of taverns we want in the city and don't want. And does this include being outside now with their alcohol
That was
also?
a question, I don't think we got
No,
answered.
there
You know,
was-
Chef Paz, is that outside?
No.
Well, that'll be next week's meeting then.
at least 2 or 3.
Right.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
that's, okay, is there any further
Yeah,
discussion?
I know,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, there is a special use permit for extension of premises right now at that location. And in the resolution, it specifies beer and wine. So the question would have to be posed to the Director of Development if an amendment to the special use would be required for the extension.
Or the city attorney. Whoever happens
None
to
of one
be.
of these
It's where I walk in, you say, what's the answer?
Yeah.
I don't even know what the question is.
Well, that's good. We'll see how good you are then.
See how
Good
good
job.
Karnak.
Yeah, Karnak, you're great, yeah.
No, we're talking about, well,
I know, I'm familiar
let's
with
first,
it. I've
let's
heard of
first vote on this. We have a motion and a second.
Well, we might,
Any
I might
further
wanna amend
discussion?
it. I'd like to suggest an amendment to this motion, to this. That we, I'd move an amendment to the resolution to allow the combination B to go into the full previously licensed territory area, which included the outdoor dining area. I'm gonna
Okay.
move that as an amendment.
So we just,
And
Well,
I'll-
And that way, if later on they decide they need a special use, they can.
I don't. Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second the amendment.
Okay, discussion, starting me.
This is where we
Scott,
need a lawyer, Scott.
they have a, extension of premises for beer and wine. Now we're going with a Class B.
We're adding alcohol onto their beer and wine. They had beer and wine outside already.
So his amendment is to allow the any type of alcohol to go out too. Do we have authority to do that?
no, under the ordinance, alcohol on the extended premises is a special use
Okay.
thing, not a licensing.
Okay.
So you retract your.
I'll retract
you
that.
retract your second.
Happy I could answer a
Good.
question.
I think I didn't write it down. All right, we're back to the original.
Yeah.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
No.
Read out second. Okay, now, there's two other, she has applied for these two other licenses, for the beer and the wine. I'm sure she did that because in case she doesn't get the other one.
We already have it, don't they?
Yes, but she's going for the new year.
This is the
In
renewal
case
for
we,
the
in
year.
case we didn't
I
vote
got
on
you.
this.
In case we turn it down.
Do we vote on these? Do we hold these? And do we vote to give her her money back?
We can't,
Well, if I may, Mr. Chairman, I think
Yes.
it would make most sense to just hold it. This is
Right.
one where you, yeah, typically, there's already one no vote. Typically, they're discussed again on,
Right.
so you don't know what the result is gonna be. So if
Right.
you act to place them on file, and then.
Right, I
yeah.
understand that, that's why,
I'll tell you right now, Leslie.
but then, when we can bring, if the new license fails on the floor tonight, we could still act on the existing license tonight.
Yeah.
Yes?
how can we,
Yes.
Okay.
so then we'd
Even
have to,
without committee action, we can just bring it to the floor.
Yeah, but you
Council.
might wanna act on it now that, should the motion
Yeah.
on the other one fail, then
Okay.
you
I'm
grant
gonna-
these.
I'll move approval based on the possible necessity of it, should the new combination B fail.
that's 69 and 70?
And I'll second.
Okay, do we have any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay. I'm gonna get a stamp. Okay. Goes there.
Now she's gonna have 4 licenses for one premise.
Do I report them out, even if we vote in favor of that?
Seldom.
Right,
Yeah.
the motion was that if the
Right,
Class B
Combination. B.
combination license is granted, that these wouldn't be acted on. If it is
So
denied,
it is
then they would
always-
be acted on. So if-
okay.
otherwise,
Just hold
I
it.
think you might wanna amend your motion that then if it is approved, the Class B, then these just be placed on file, and you were saying return, somebody said return the funds or
yeah,
not.
to return the funds.
So if you wanna make that as your motion, you could,
That would be fine.
Do that.
If that was an amendment to the motion, amend the motion such that if the combination B is approved, then the previously approved B, C, beer, wine only licenses would be
Place on
placed
file.
on file and application fee refunded.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, on the amendment, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. We already voted on that.
All right.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, we have number 30. Now, I did have a question on this one here also. Number 30 is for the outdoor patio extension of premises for Connors, but they're not having their public hearing till July 1st. So, do we vote this, approve it subject to public hearing? or
Well,
do
it's
we
not the
vote?
license, this is an entirely separate issue, it just
Is this-
happens to come around the time of license renewal.
Correct. But this is for outdoor patio with extension of premises, but they gotta have a public hearing, but that's not gonna be until July 1st.
Yeah.
So we can, I'm just asking if we can okay this before
well,
we have the public hearing.
again, the public hearing is because it's a special use
Yes.
change.
Right.
And that's why they have to have the public hearing for the special use change, and that is what actually will allow
It won't happen till
the
after that.
alcohol
Yeah.
serving.
Right.
So you approving it now won't allow them to do it until after the public hearing and action by the council.
But, and
Okay.
safety and
But-
development.
Right.
Cause that's,
On the
remember,
special use.
remember
Right.
these didn't
Yes,
used to come
yes,
to us
I know.
first?
Right.
This is just the first step of
I
it coming
understand
to
that.
us.
Yes. Okay, do I have a motion?
Right, and what you're doing is you're telling safety and development, there are no liquor problems,
Yeah.
liquor license problems that would prevent it.
Oh.
Now it would
And-
just be a safety and development issue that
Mr.
they need
Chair,
to look at.
I'd like to suggest that in as much the alderperson of the district isn't here with us today, and
Right. Well, I don't know what district, is that
That's
second?
Gary's.
That is-
that's Gary's.
Third.
it is
It's
third?
Gary Martin,
Okay.
that we, end of the world if we hold it for, well, I guess it ends up being held until July 1st. Right? Yeah, 2 weeks, not the end of the world,
Well,
Oh, and that's when the public hearing is?
is it?
I don't know.
Yes,
Public
Yes,
hearing scheduled
so-
for that
And
day.
you could still act on it that day?
And we're not having a special meeting before then?
No.
yes,
No, not the 24th.
on July 1st.
oh,
We
that's
have
right,
an
we're gonna-
early meeting on
6
July
p.m.
1st.
Early meeting on July
Yes.
1st.
Yes,
Okay, yes, sir.
so we can hold it till, can we do that?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll
Okay,
second that.
Well, no, we're doing,
No, you don't have to
we're
vote
just
on
gonna hold
holding.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, then we have the, 31 and 67. 31 is the communication for the, giving the, music. I take it back. 31
Restricted music
operation plan for the bar premises and the tavern license. And then with musical instrument, and 67 is their renewal application.
So we're kind of giving them a conditional instrumental music license?
I don't think there's such a thing. I think, well, we had discussed it, and because we have to amend their agreement, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
There's stipulations, so.
And
did
that was
we-
all worked out? Remember, there's like certain days of the week they weren't gonna do music?
Yeah, I haven't worked it out with them, I haven't seen anything along those lines, so if that's what you're basing this on,
Well, who was dealing, was that,
I don't know.
I believe it was Assistant City Attorney Warchuk.
Yeah.
yeah,
Jeff
And that
was
would
there.
be number 31 for the operation plan. This is the new one, based on what was discussed at a previous
right,
meeting.
so I just wanna make sure we're not
Oh,
approving a
okay.
new one that doesn't have the restrictions in it that we wanted.
Right, my mistake.
Yeah,
This-
I
this
have
should-
not gotten a report.
That's in there?
Yeah,
Is that restrictions are in there, Nikki?
I'm looking. What's he got here?
Looks official, has a bunch of whereases.
Yeah,
There was some day of week restrictions, and was it time of day? It wasn't time of day. I don't remember what were the restrictions we were looking for. Because remember we were talking about she wanted one day. She wanted Wednesday, but she
There's a
gave up
question,
Thursday.
Licensed health community and comic house granted dance hall license and musical instrument license, with a renewal of a class B tavern. Since signing an operating plan. Okay, the renewal license dancing only occur on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays on any given week. Not a tavern entertainment license, not eligible. Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, if any given week, that's all. So not permit DJs or other entertainment, or other similar entertainment,
Or anyone to just walk up
including,
and start playing.
but not limited to karaoke.
Yeah, with no DJ, no karaoke.
Yeah. Shall mean a person who plays, presents, or mixes recorded music typically for dancing or a party, but shall not include persons selecting recorded music from a jukebox, iPad, computer, or similar device. Karaoke, as used herein, shall mean the form of interactive entertainment or video game.
In which, keep on reading, in which an amateur sings, sing
We're
along
all
with
amateurs.
recorded music.
Yeah.
And I just,
Yeah.
it's like karaoke and video game kind of.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, we got the no
so
DJ,
display no video
no
screen or
karaoke,
guided singer.
No.
and nothing on Thursdays.
It still says should not employ Mario McGeezy or Daniel, that's the same thing, so.
Yeah.
So basically, he did everything he wanted. Now, the problem I have with it is I was contacted by someone who says the person that gets the bands and everything from is the person that he had problems with selling drugs in his bar. Now, it's only a person telling me, I don't know how that comes to play here.
Well, there was, and this is an allegation. There's no conviction. There was no arrest or conviction. I didn't think there was any drug related arrests there, was there?
No.
Of all the problems, that wasn't one
That's
that I
one he
recall.
missed.
Yeah, right, and so it just says, and it's like, you know, he tells it to you, what do you do? He said, I'm telling you because you may change your mind about doing it now, but all it is an allegation. I don't have any
But
facts, I don't have
Mr. Chairman, I
anything.
think you need to go on the conduct of this bar
Right.
and what's occurred and been shown in
Right.
this bar, not just some hearsay allegation.
Yeah, I just wanted to relate it out to
Get it out
the
there.
committee.
What was the allegation? That the person booking their bands is known to be a drug dealer?
That this is the person who was selling drugs in their bar,
Oh, another bar owner said,
yes.
okay.
Just letting everybody know before they vote, so. So we have number 31 and 67.
Move approval.
Second. 60?
67.
67 was
I
the
mean,
restricted.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Now that's the 14-15 license. So that would mean she could do it right away. Or no, that starts
14, 15
starting
is July
July
1st.
first.
Yeah, it means July 1st.
I think you're. Okay.
I want you to read the name and item number 32.
We pointed that out.
Yeah, we already discussed that.
I didn't even see it, I just knew what you're talking about though.
Go ahead, Vanna.
Okay, so communication, for them to change it, was on tonight's agenda already. Our only problem with this place is, I don't think it's with them yet, is the camera thing again. I don't know if you guys got the
Yeah, I got the
email from,
Lieutenant
so,
Johnson.
so, is there anybody problem with changing their names? Do I
No.
have a motion? Place on file?
Move, approve and place on file.
Well, just to place on file.
Move, place on file.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, then we have 33, 34, tonight's agenda. This is the approval of subject necessary requirements.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 35, this is, application.
Move
Kits.
approval.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thursday?
Yeah, this was a special event from Kips.
Yeah, I understand that. On Thursday?
Yeah. And then we have, number 36, that's the doghouse. Matter of fact, we have 36 and 37, first and second, event for the year. Birthday party, what is it, 8 AM to 7 PM on August 31st for the second one, and
Birthday
July
party for
13th,
the-
8 AM to 8 PM. Food and tent, I guess they have a lot.
What's a two-day, July 12th and the 13th? Move approval.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Oh, then, we have 38, which is another one, for Lynch's.
Move approval.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Then we have license, let's see, 39, 40, 41, and 42. Do I have a motion? Is there approval subject?
Move
subject to
approval
necessary
subject to necessary requirements.
Second.
Let me sit there and hang, right?
No,
Until-
I thought
until
you needed
someone says
writing
something.
time, I'm sorry.
Is there any further discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
This isn't that one, remember we had that guy here about 2 months ago who was, this is a different bar, right?
Applied with the wrong name?
Well, yeah, who was
No, this is
the?
across
Oh,
the-
a different one?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't quite
Yeah,
sure.
he, matter of fact, his attorney sent me a letter saying that he's withdrawing from any application, which I don't know why you need an attorney to do that, but,
Okay.
maybe it's some extra money left over. So, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
He had in-house credit with his attorney he had to burn up.
Finish off a retainer.
I don't know, I don't know. Okay, then we have 43, 44, 45, and let's take 46 right away too.
Is that Move for approval, subject to necessary requirements.
Second.
I don't have my
Okay, this,
Sure, that's what
wait a second. This one,
it's,
that's,
it's through
approval,
46.
okay, so I think they just forgot to stamp one. Who made the motion? Rote made the
Rote.
motion, and who second?
Haas.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
The pile's getting smaller.
Yeah.
We're making progress.
You should've come-
Tangible.
You should have come with us last Thursday, I was looking at that. Lakefront. The clips of faith,
I was gonna mention that.
fundraiser for the bike fest.
Just a note, number 44 wasn't stamped. I'll just let you stamp it.
It's fun though.
Mm, no problem. Okay, then we have the police reports, for the month of May.
Should go to the Nomad and do
Which one
some
of these?
World Cup.
I had a favela beer.
I just got these tonight.
Felt so dirty afterwards.
Did everybody look over their police reports? I just got
I
mine
just
tonight.
looked at mine tonight too. I didn't, it may have been here Friday, but I just got it today.
I don't think it's a big deal. I think we can hold it. If you want.
That's what that was about.
Yeah.
No,
'cause
I didn't look over
we
it.
normally,
I'm trying to remember,
or we just introduce them.
they're all bleeding
But it
together.
says the place on file, so we're voting on it.
Number 47 for placing it on file, but all of the other reports that come after
They're
it, 48 through
individual?
53,
Although
we
I-
break that big report down into these individual ones.
Oh, okay.
I read these
For how
already.
long?
Did I read these online?
Okay, this is a motion to place this on file, and then we'll have the individual ones later.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, he's already.
Mr. Chair,
Let me take it back. 65. This is the bobbleheads, 65 and 66. Now, how did we vote on earlier here? We had them. Okay, I'm sorry, it's not corrected as.
yeah, we didn't have 65 or 66 earlier.
No, I always thought that it was blockers and bobbleheads, same thing. So,
Oh,
so okay, they now have a plan for 13, plan received. So, number 65 is to subject approval subject to necessary requirements, 66 place on file. Do I
So
have-
moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. I believe that's
Mr. Chair,
all we have.
on the previous police reports, item number 53, we're gonna come back to those next meeting, right? The ones that you said you guys had just gotten, they were actually,
Police report,
Yeah,
right.
we're gonna we'll call in some and some
okay, yeah, cause, you know,
individual reports.
What about
I haven't read them yet, so I
yeah,
don't know.
I got mine over the weekend and it was like, you know, everybody's drunk, just like
Okay,
highly intoxicated.
meeting adjourned.
All right.
Okay. So we didn't vote on O'Connor's.
Shut pause then, I'll just approve.
Why didn't we vote
Yeah.
on that?
Yeah, but
On the papers,
we couldn't
were
approve
holding it
Right.
the
because
combination B into the outdoor area, you caught that part.
we're waiting until
Oh,
the
this-
next meeting.
Oh, that's right.
Because-
Oh, that's right, because, all in the district. Okay,
Yeah.
Can I ask a question though, did you have findings
Hello, Jane,
for
how are
exceeding
you?
the quota for shut ponds?